Hey guys, Mystic here. Today we're talking about Warframe, and this is going to be part of my new series, New Player Guides by New Players. And today, with Warframe here, we're kind of revisiting this game almost for the first time. We played this game in the past. I've played this game in the past, and it wasn't exactly well received by myself. I didn't know what I was doing. There's so much information. The learning curve was pretty steep. And I just quit instead of actually giving it a fair shake. Now, I've since returned, and in doing so, I've kind of sought out the help of experienced players to get a better understanding of how this game plays, what to do in this game, and kind of reduce that learning curve and kind of flatten it out as much as I can. So I wanted to part to you guys in this series, what if I knew about this game when I started would have made my experience completely better. Now, with that said, let's get to some of the basics. Now, when you first log into the game, you're just going to have one Warframe. Now, what's a Warframe? It's a very good question. A Warframe is, if we wanted to use a comparison point, we can use MMOs in general as a comparison point. A Warframe can be tied to or can parallel a class in an MMO. So, for example, you have your priests as your healing class in World of Warcraft. You have paladins. You have your warriors as tanks. That's pretty much going to be the same model that's used here, except how this actually plays out is the frames make up the class. So, perfect case in point. This Warframe that I'm on now is called Octavia. She is if you spec her correctly, she can be pretty powerful in terms of doing damage. She's not as tanky, at least to my understanding, she's not as tanky as some other classes. So I would kind of put her into the realm of a DPS character. Or maybe even a little support, maybe a little bit of both. Nonetheless, Warframes basically are your class, and that is how you kind of are going to be approaching missions. So when you first log into your ship, you're kind of going to start right around here. You're going to have one Warframe, and you're going to see a bunch of things in front of you that you're not really sure about what they are or what they mean. Well, let's kind of tackle some of those right now. The first thing you're going to notice is you see below me, there's this X for navigation. If you click on X, it's going to basically bring you to this planet view. Now, here's the thing about planets, right? When you start the game, you're going to start on Earth. And you're going to see that there's going to be these diamonds, these blue diamonds. These are going to be available missions for you that you have not completed and you'll need to complete in order to unlock the path that it connects to. All these items here that are white are missions that I've already completed on Earth. So, when you're trying to move around on the planet, you want to make sure that you try to do every mission on the planet, to ensure that you're getting a maximum exposure to different types of missions, and at the same time, you're following through on your quest. But we'll come back to that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. So basically, when you're at the navigation window, you get your navigation console and you press X, you're going to start on a default view. It's going to come right in on a planet. Now, you can navigate by clicking on things where it says to Mars and to Earth, and that'll jump you around. Or you can press the escape key, and that'll bring you to the full view of the universe, where you can click on a particular planet to dive right into it. Now, what I was talking about in terms of missions, well, if you mouse over one of these missions, you'll see a few pieces of information appear in the call-out view here. I'm going to call it a call-out view. You see here, this is called Mantle. The mission is Capture. The faction is Grenier. And the level is 2 to 4. So that level 2 to 4 kind of coincides with like your Warframe's level. That's the level range that you should be at in order to do this mission. The faction Grenier, that's something we'll get into a little bit more in depth later on. But for the most part, this is the important information you need to know about this particular mission. Now, there are many different types of missions, And if you want to learn more about the types of missions that you have, there's an excellent resource on your ship to your left called your Codex. And that is right over here from your navigation. It's over here on the left. It's called Codex. When you click on the X again, you'll see it's going to bring up a few things: quests, universe, training, and missions. Now, remember how I said that was a, I forget what the mission type was actually, but these are going to be all the mission types that the game has currently. Now, if you want to learn more about what you're getting yourself into before you actually get into the game or into that mission, go ahead and come here, click on missions, and then look at the type. Let's say, for example, it was a defense mission. You'll click on defense, and it will basically give you an explanation. Defense is defend an important target against waves of enemy units. If the defense target is destroyed, the mission automatically fails. Every 5 waves, you choose to stay and fight or extract from the mission. So that's when you have a defense mission, that's going to be the construct of that mission. So this is how you can get excellent information about the missions. If you've never done them before and you want to have a sense of what you're walking into, by all means, come to the Codex and do a little research. Now, there's a lot more in the Codex, and we can get into that later on, but that's something you just want to kind of pay attention to. Now, over here on the right-hand side, you have the market. And this is basically going to be where you can spend your credits. So when you look in the upper right-hand corner where my mouse is right now, you have 2 icons right here with some numbers. The first icon on the left is this cascading set of, looks like, playing cards. This represents your credits. This is, in essence, in-game currency that you acquire by basically doing missions, opening up chests, different types of treasure chests in the environment will drop credits. Completing a mission will provide credits. The icon to the right represents what's called platinum. And this is a currency where you will actually acquire a few ways. The most direct way to acquire platinum is to buy it from Digital Extreme's website. Easiest way. Other methods include selling mods, blueprints, etc. to other players through a trading process that will allow you to return credits to you. So you could have a mod called Blind Rage. You want to sell that. There's a website where you can go and list the information about, that one that you have, that particular mod you want to sell, and you can see what the going price is, and you can decide, how much you want to price it for and list it up there, kind of like an auction house, but it's handled externally and it's not affiliated in any way with Digital Extremes. So there's no tie-in to it's all fan driven. So just keep that in mind. So with platinum, you basically can buy many different things in this game. And there's a lot of things to buy in this game in terms of skins and different Warframes. Now, let me kind of cut through all the potential statements about like microtransactions and things like that. Guys, there are no microtransactions in this game. Everything you see here, everything from the Warframe to the actual colors to the Foundry blueprints, all of these items are accessible in the game and are accessible by merely playing the game. Sure, you may have to do some excessive farming and you may have to spend some time working toward those items, but in fact, you can get and experience 100% of this game for free. There's no microtransactions. There's no loot boxes where they're hiding items behind in a group of loot boxes that you would have to spend countless dollars on to potentially get the item you're looking for, only to spend a lot of money on the loot boxes to get the one item way down the road. So there's none of that, and that's fantastic. Now, with the loot, with the microtransactions, with understanding some of the currency aside, let's talk about what you see on the rest of the ship here. So up on the bridge, those are your primary things, right? Your navigation, your marketplace, your codex. Later on down the road, you're going to talk about syndicates And this is a spot here for news that's coming from the publisher, the developer. And over here, you have what's called your scanner. So you can listen to like radio chatter. And I think that's going to be useful later on down the road. Just not useful. I haven't found it to be useful at this particular moment in my gameplay. Now, once you come down here, so you're going to start up here. You'll notice that there's going to be, pay no attention to this pet right now. That's something later on you're going to get. When you walk back this way, the floor is going to basically, it's going to drop down. You're going to be able to walk down to level 2 here. So level 2 here is going to have some other things you're going to want to pay attention to. On the right-hand side is going to be what's called your foundry. This is where you're going to be able to build the blueprints that you receive and actually, be able to acquire these items. So you acquire these blueprints through missions and doing events. You also can trade for blueprints. So, that's another thing we talk about later. But for the most part, you're new. You're just starting out. You're going to get blueprints from doing missions and events. Okay? Simple as that. Now, when you see an item that you have, so for example, right here, it says I can actually build this one. I have 1 blueprint left, which means I actually had 2 of this particular sword. It tells you what materials you need, if you actually have those materials. And if you do, you can actually build this one, because you see it will say build right here. If you don't have enough components, it's going to say right here, not enough components, and you're going to see what you actually have to do to acquire. Now, it does it a little bit differently. The mats that you need are on the right-hand side of the slash. The mats that you have are on the left-hand side of the slash. So here, for example, on nanospores, it says I need 1,200 nanospores. I currently have 808. So not exactly something I can build just yet. So if I wanted to do these ether daggers, I would actually have to go and figure out where nanospores drop from and start farming those so I could actually acquire another 300 and 300 odd number, 392 of these to complete the number of nanospores I need to build this particular item. Once you build an item or you start building an item, it's going to look like this. It's going to say, this is in progress, how long is left, the percentage complete, and if you actually wanted to rush this and make it happen quickly, it would cost you 40 plat to actually finish this early. Otherwise, just wait 13 hours and you have yourself a new weapon. So that's going to be the foundry. You're going to be interacting with that early on in your missions because you're going to actually have to build an item to progress through the quest line. And we'll get back to quest line here in a minute. On the opposite side, you're going to have a station called mods. Mods are going to be enhancements to your Warframe. And mods are going to be a very much a focal point of building your Warframe and maximizing its capabilities. Now, what's important about mods are a few things. In the upper left-hand corner, you're going to notice that there's actually a numeric value. Okay? So, for example, this is Blind Rage. The numeric value on this one is 6, right? And you see at the bottom, there's a series of like what looks like to be like little silver stars. You see that down there? There's a bunch of little silver stars down there. So what this basically is saying is the following. To use this mod in your Warframe, it's going to cost you 6 energy. Now, what does that mean? Well, each Warframe starts off with a certain capacity charge. So you can kind of think of it like like these are like the capacity charge are like your skill points. And this number up here, the 6 represents, in order to use this particular mod, that's how many skill points it's going to cost you in order to use that mod in your configuration. Now, when you start to charge these mods and increase their stats, their charge value is going to go up. And what I mean by that is, let's find one here that I've actually charged. You see right here? Iron Phoenix. You see he's got this blue line through it at the bottom, and those 3 silver stars are now lit up. This means that I've maximized the charges on this mod. And it also tells me that this mod is basically a 5 charge mod. So you're going to see that play out, and I'll show you here why this is important here in a second. So if we move a little bit forward to about dead center right here, you're going to get something called Arsenal. Now this is important because this is going to allow you to select your Warframe, allow you to select your weapon, allow you to select your secondary weapon, allow you to select your melee weapon. It's going to allow you to select everything you need to select in order to be playing this game. So you walk up to it and you press X, and basically now you get your loadout screen here, right? You get the Warframe that you're using, the level that it's at. So right now this one's max rank. The weapon that you have in your primary weapon slot here, its rank. Your secondary weapon, its rank. Your melee weapon, its rank. Now you also have companions that you can use. And so this will tell you, this is my companion right now. This is its current rank. And this is the weapon that's attached to the companion. And down here we have gear and emotes, and we'll get back to that in a minute. So let's talk about the actual mods. So in the arsenal, looking at your Warframe, you go to upgrade. This is how you get into your mod. Now this is by no means a optimal configuration. So anybody who might be a veteran looking at this, let's not critique too hard. Okay, so here's basically what it looks like. You see up here, they have a capacity. This is the amount of skill points that this Warframe has on it currently, 68. I have used 50 points, leaving 18 still available. So what that means is I have room for growth on the current loadout. I can upgrade these further. By upgrading these further, it's going to, it's going to up the capacity charge, which will decrement this number up here. So this is how this all kind of works. So you see this one is a 9 charge, this one's a 5 charge, this one's an 8 charge, a 6 charge, and on and on and on. Now, here's something I want to call to your attention. You see that we have some numbers here that are green, right? See 2 and 4. Okay, let me show you what this means. Okay, so you see up here, this is an empty mod slot that you have for your Warframe. Up here is a little symbol, means this is the polarity of the charge, and that matches the symbols that are down here. Now, you can put any mod into any open mod spot. Okay, so I can take this blind rage and put it right up in here. And you see, it actually cost me 8. If I take it away, it costs 6. So you see what it did here was it actually, when I put the 6 blind rage in to a non-matching polarity position, it actually made the card or the mod cost more, and it brought it up by 2 to 8. Okay, you see here, by default it's 6. If I put it here, it's 2. Flow here is a value of 4. These polarity charges match. This is looking like a dash. This is a dash. This is 4. I have 20 remaining. I put flow in here. See how it's green? This means we have a match. And it actually brought the capacity charge down by half to 2. So the more that you can change the polarity of the mod slot to match your optimal cards, the more you're going to be able to increase the mod charge while reducing the charge cost. And that gets into the min-max and optimizing your Warframe for endgame content. Right now, just pay attention to the fact of this is what the mod costs, this is why it's green, and this is how the loadout kind of looks. Now, if you're not too sure about how you should spec your Warframe in the beginning, like I was, there's a quick and easy way to do this. And what it is down here, we have a bunch of options. One of them is actions. If we click on actions, you'll see here we have a auto install, automatically set up your mod configuration. If we click that option, what will happen is that it will take all of the cards that we have and it will determine the best ones that will go into the mod slots and automatically assign them there for us. Now, this is good for new players because it allows you to look at what the game determined to be the best mods for your Warframe and why those things were put in. And so that's a good starting point for you to kind of see how to spec it, and also allow you an opportunity to look at what you have available and how it's actually being used. And as you go about your missions and things like that, and farming for different mods, you'll be able to, kind of focus on which ones you need, what type of, if you want to upgrade them or not, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to pick a very low Warframe that I have. Let's pick Banshee. Okay, so Banshee, she's level 3, or she's rank 3. The maximum rank in this game right now is 30. Okay, once your Warframe hits 30, it's considered to be max rank, and you're pretty much, there's going to be no more experience your Warframe is going to gain at that point. It's all going to be about the modifications. So again, we're going to go into upgrade. See, we have 8 capacity still remaining out of 13. So I'm going to go to actions. Right now we have 3 cards. We have continuity, enemy sense, and in our aura field, we have something called speed holster. If I go to actions and I do the auto install, you see now we have 1 capacity left. We have redirection in here. We have continuity here, and we still have speed holster up here. Okay. Now let me also tell you this: these 2 rows here are like your default mods, right? This mod slot up here is called an aura slot. So you're only going to be able to put aura cards in this particular position. And how you find if you have any aura cards is you use the symbols up here. You mouse over them, it'll tell you what they are. The first one you see here after all is the aura. And I only have 3 aura mods in total right now. So I can kind of configure this around depending upon my mission. So for example, if I was going up against if I was doing a mission where the faction was Corpus, what I could do is, if I was, to be, smart about the gameplay, is I would come here. I see I have an EMP aura, and you can read the description. It says Corpus enemies have reduced accuracy, negative 2.5% hit chance. So if I was doing a Corpus run, I think this would be very helpful for me to put into this position. Again, you just drag it and drop it and release it. But you see here, the charge is 2 up. This is 3. If I remove this, well, actually, let me remove this. Well, we'll get into that later. See, new player, still not sure why. But anyways, this is basically where you would put your aura, right? Now, over here, you have what's called an Elixis adapter. Now, you can unlock this Elixis adapter, and you'll see down here again, following the symbols, this is all the Elixis mods that I have. If I was to unlock this particular mod spot, I could then add one of these cards or mods into that position. So over here, there's something called Arcanes, and Arcanes will further enhance your Warframe. However, in order to get these Arcanes, you actually have to defeat Eidolons, and that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. So just be aware of the fact that you get your Warframe, you go to upgrade. If you're not sure about what mod should go where, go to actions, auto install. It'll add them automatically in. You don't have to do anything else. You can just press escape. Those mods will automatically be applied, and that's it. Your Warframe is set to go. It has its mods attached, and you're ready to rock. We have other things here like appearance, where we can actually play around with like the skins. So you can see we can buy different skins for this Warframe, and it'll tell us what it costs. This is 165 plat, or actually $6.99 through Steam if we like this skin. And same thing up here. So you can do a lot of customization. You can also play around with like the colors of the Warframe. Then you see here, we can actually change the primary color. And everything here, obviously, down the center is not locked. And everything here is completely unlocked. So you can go ahead and customize your look on these channels: primary, secondary, tertiary, accents, and energy. Additionally, up here, we have things called attachments. We can add different things to the Warframe. So you can really get into a lot of customization with your Warframe. So that's really cool and really, way to customize your gameplay experience. And that falls under the appearance section. If you're not sure what your abilities are, you'll see here on the Warframe view, the Sonic Boom, Sonar, Silence, and Soundquake. These are the abilities that the Warframe has. So again, getting back to the fact that your Warframe is synonymous or parallels a class in an MMO, these are the abilities that the Warframe has. And you can mouse over them and it'll tell you what they are, or you can also click on the abilities button. And you'll also see what they are, how much energy it costs to actually execute that particular ability, what the current rank of the ability is, okay, as you're moving on, right? So unranked, progressing. So this is how you will maximize your Warframe's abilities and how you will use your mods to enhance those, because you'll have things like duration, where you can actually have a duration mod that will up the duration of the actual ability by adding more duration or upgrading your duration mod, and that is applied to the Warframe, which applies that stat to the functions that use duration, which would be in your abilities, and that would modify this value up. So you can kind of see like how to spec it and what the abilities are, etc., etc., etc. Now, same thing happens with weapons. So, if you have a weapon, right? When you have a weapon, you're going to go through the equip. You're going to scroll through what you have, right? And then you're going to do the same thing, upgrades. So weapons, Warframes, all follow the same type of mechanic. Mods into mod slots. There might be a polarity charge on a mod, which is this V symbol, or what's known as the Maduri. It decreases the cost by half. So, same thing. You're going to pick up modifications for your weapons. You're going to add them in. Again, the same thing can do. If you don't know what to put in for your weapon, go to Actions, Auto Install, and boom, it automatically adds in, and you see changes one to Serration. So, if you don't like the way it's customized or way in which it's made that determination, by all means, drag it out, drag in what you want instead, and play around with the configuration. So that happens for your primary weapon. Again, that exactly happens for your secondary weapon, and also for your melee weapon, and also for your sentinel when you do have a sentinel. By being new, you're not going to have a sentinel. So if you don't see one, don't worry. You're not supposed to have one when you start. You will get a blueprint as you progress that you can actually use to build your own sentinel. But if you do have one, just take a look in the equip. Start off as none. See if you have something in here. If you do, equip it. And the same thing here. You upgrade. These are the mods that go against the sentinel, and you can see what I have remaining. And you can see here I don't have any more charge capacity here, so there's no more mods that I can put in at this time. I will gain additional capacity by leveling up this sentinel by actually playing the missions, etc. And this is the sentinel's weapon. And the same thing here, upgrade, same thing, mods add to the actual thing. Now, gear, here's the thing with the gear. These are going to be things that you're going to have access to on your gear wheel, which will be accessible by pressing the Q button. So when you press your Q button, you'll see this thing. You hold down the Q button, right, to bring it up. You'll then mouse over what you want, click on it, and it'll actually give that to you as something you can use. So that's how you bring up that menu, right? And the same thing here, you also have emotes. So press Q, hold it down, mouse over the one you want, click on it, and you see, performs the actual emote. So that's how you actually do an emote. Now, that's pretty much it. Well, let me explain a few more things, guys. I'm sorry. Now, a few other things that are hidden in the escape menu. When you press escape, you're going to see a few things. You see navigation and equipment, market, communication. Here's where you have access to your friends, your clan, and your inbox. Okay? You also have your quests where you can actually see what's happening. So you can see, remember, this is the codex again, and these are the quests that I've completed. And you see the ones I have to do still. So you see all of these here are still things that are remaining to be done through the story quest line. All right, I press escape again. We can see profile. We can see my profile, the syndicates, leaderboards, glyphs, etc. And you also can do options where you can customize your gameplay, controls, chat, interface, display, and audio. Now, another thing to pay attention to is this thing right up here called Mastery Rank. Once you hit a certain level on your weapon, level on your Warframe, once you get certain levels on those, you're going to be accessible. You're going to have what's available to you. It's going to be something called your Mastery Rank. And you see here, this is my symbol up here, symbolic. So this is my in-game name. So if you guys ever wanted to party up or shoot me an email or add me as a friend, this is my in-game name, symbolic. Okay, and I'll leave it up there for a second. You see right next to it, there's a numeric value, number 5. This means that my mastery rank is level 5. Now, the mastery ranks, once you're eligible, are tests of strength, capabilities. They're just ultimately a series of a themed test. Okay, so for example, my mastery rank 4 test was a survival test, and basically they just sent wave after wave of mobs to kill, and I had to survive. If I successfully completed that survival test, I would acquire rank 4, and then I would be able to migrate to rank 5 in 24 hours. So I completed rank 4, obviously, because I'm rank 5 now. So rank 5 has also been acquired. And rank 5 mastery test was disabling alarms within a certain amount of time. So these things go on up. The maximum rank that you can get to is 25 right now. So, if you're fortunate enough to move up the ranks, they'll progressively get harder as the ranks increase. So, the thing about mastery ranks is when you get a notice that says you're now capable or eligible to do a mastery rank, you will press escape key. You'll see mastery rank as the first option here. You'll click on that, and it'll tell you, are you sure you want to execute the mastery rank test? The thing is, if you fail the mastery rank test, you will basically be locked out from trying again for 24 hours. If you successfully complete the mastery rank test, you'll obviously acquire that mastery rank, and then it will be 24 hours additional you have to wait before you can do the next rank. So that's something to pay attention to. Another thing to pay attention to, when you're on your navigation, you'll see here you have 3 symbols up here and a series of symbols over here. In the first position on the left-hand side, this is your icon. This is you. So this is me. This is the character or the Warframe that I'm on. This is the primary weapon, the secondary weapon, the melee weapon, the sentinel, and the aura that's running. This also will tell the game how I want to do these missions. Do I want to do them as solo? Do I want to do them as public? Do I want to do them as friends only or invite only? Now, some of these missions I would recommend doing as in a group through public. So if you click, so the only way to do this is you click on this, or you mouse over here, you scroll down to what you want, and you click on it, and it'll swap. So now you see here, I have on Ceres, I have these 2 blue diamonds, and I have a bunch of locked paths still because I'm still working my way through Ceres. Up here is called Kisti, and you see the mission is mobile defense, the faction is Grenier, levels 13 to 15, and you see open squads 1. So If I wanted to do this public event and there's still room, I would simply click on this, and if there was room, it would add me to their public game, and we would work as a team. The maximum number of players that can be in a group is 4 right now for parties. Raids, I think, is like 8 or something, but parties is 4. So I'd get into a public group and I'd knock it out. So if you're having troubles doing particular missions, set this to public and go and see if anybody else is doing it, and then you'll automatically just join their game, and you just follow along or do the mission, and you'll be fine. If you want to just change that up and put it back to solo, make sure you set it back to solo. So here you see now the open squads value actually has dropped. You don't see that listed now because we don't have that particular option set up. Over here on the right hand side, in this upper right hand corner, you have a few symbols. This one here is your quests. So this is what you will follow for the main story quest. Right now it tells me I need to unlock the Jupiter Junction from Ceres. The next thing up here are alerts. These are things you can do to get rewards. These two here are giving credit rewards. And this one here is Maru's Bazaar, which will not be accessible to you initially when you start out in the game. So if you don't see it on your screen, don't freak out. It's not something you should have at the early stages of the game. Okay. These you will see though. Okay. To the right of that, there's something called Void Fissures. And these basically are void relic events that you will do with relics in order to unlock the content of the relic to basically get gear or get loot out of. Now, the thing about these void fissures, void relics, is that you want to do them in a group of 4. And the reason why you want to do them in a group of 4 is simply this, actually. When you complete the challenge and you get enough fragments to unlock the void relic, everybody's void relic will unlock. And, because you're taking 4 people, everybody's loot drop could be different because, remember, it's based on RNG. And let's say, for example, there was, like a mod in one, a mod in another one, a blueprint in the third one, and maybe like a prime blueprint in the fourth one. Like the fourth guy got a prime blueprint, and you're like, oh man, I wish I got the prime blueprint. Well, don't fear. You can copy that person's reward and say, I want what number 4 got as well. Make that my reward as well. And that's why you do it in group of 4, because you maximize the RNG, you maximize the drops, and if there is something that you get that you want that somebody else got, you simply copy their reward onto yours, and when everything finalizes, you get that particular reward. So that's why you do it in groups of 4. And we'll explain those later on. So, guys, that pretty much brings it to a close. I know this is a long introduction video, but I hope you guys found it helpful. Now, listen, if you guys have any questions or want to see other types of videos or things like that, remember, my aim for these videos is for new players by a new player. So I know your pain. I'm going through it now, but you guys may have additional challenges that you're seeing that I may have missed, and you might need some help or some answers on. If you do, by all means, drop a comment in the video description here, and I'll be more than happy to answer you back through the comment section. Or if we need to, we'll make a video on it, or if we need to discuss it even further, let's take it to my stream and we can discuss it there as well. So guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching all the way through in this video. I hope this information was in the least bit helpful to get you started in this fantastic game. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the game. Guys, thanks again as always. And it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you guys.